People always talk about the moment they realized their family never actually saw them. For me, it wasn't a fight, or a betrayal, or some dramatic screaming match. It was a chair. An empty one. Placed at the end of a room full of people who had already decided I didn't deserve to sit. I didn't know then that the moment they tried to hide me would be the same moment the world finally saw me. The invitation to my sister's bridal brunch arrived in a thick, glittering white envelope that felt heavier than my entire childhood. Gold lettering. Wax seal. Some fancy country club logo I'd never cared about. My name, Lena Hawthorne, printed in swooping cursive, squeezed between 50 other guests supposedly hand-picked to witness my sister, Serafina, prepare for her perfect life as future Mrs. Alastair Coldwell. I didn't why mother called the moment I RSVP'd. Her voice held that familiar tremble, like she was bracing for embarrassment before I'd even said hello. Lena, sweetheart. We need to talk about arrangements. Arrangements. Conditions. Disguised as politeness, you know how the Coldwell family is, she began. Serafina's future mother-in-law, Marjorie, requested that seating be refined. Refined how? I asked. Well, reserved for married guests, high-profile couples, and close relatives with recognized social standing. I'm close family, I said. Yes, but you're unattached. At 32, apparently I was old enough to pay bills, manage national-level negotiations, and coordinate diplomatic briefings, but not important enough to sit at a table at my sister's bridal brunch. So I'm invited, I said slowly, but I'm not allowed to sit. You can absolutely attend, she said brightly, the panic just beneath her voice. We just thought you'd be perfect near the gift table. Helping. Coordinating. You're so organized, Lena. Organized. Useful. Invisible. That if they had the slightest idea what my actual job entailed, they'd realize I spent more time preparing heads of state for high-risk summits than stacking presents at country clubs. But they never asked. The morning of the brunch, I put on a muted sapphire dress, clean lines, soft fabric, nothing loud enough to offend delicate Coldwell sensibilities. The Meadowwick country estate shimmered in sunlight, valets guiding polished cars into place. Women floated past in designer heels, perfumes sweet enough to sting. Inside, the garden conservatory glowed with chandeliers and glass walls. Every table was dripping with crystal glasses and fresh lavender arrangements, each seat labeled in elegant calligraphy, except mine. Even distant relatives whose existence I questioned had place cards. I, apparently, did not. Mom rushed over, smiling too wide. Lena. Perfect timing. If you could just stand near the gifts and help guests organize them. There's no seat for me, I said. Well, since you'll be active during the event, you won't need one. You understand. Serafina floated over next, pink dress, flawless curls, breathless entitlement. Mom told you about the gifts? Keep the envelopes visible. Oh, and maybe stay near the back for photos. We really want the pictures to look cohesive. Cohesive. Meaning, you don't fit our aesthetic. Fine. That I walked to the alcove they assigned me, a perfect little nook to stash a sister they didn't want seen. My phone vibrated with a coded pattern. Only a handful of people on the planet would recognize it. Convoy arriving in 15 minutes. Confirm readiness. That I typed back quickly, slipped my phone away, and nodded across the room to Calder, the head of security I'd briefed the day before. He tapped his earpiece. Everything was in place. The brunch began. Laughter swelled. Gifts sparkled. My family performed their carefully rehearsed roles. And then, the world shifted. Through the windows, 4 armored SUVs rolled onto the estate grounds like a dark tide. Diplomatic plates gleamed. Valets stumbled backward. Conversations died mid-sentence. Marjorie Coldwell stiffened so hard she looked like she'd crack. The doors opened, out stepped the Royal Eastern Guard, 6 officers in midnight uniforms, posture sharp enough to slice the air. Guests gasped. Phones shot up like artillery. Then she emerged, Princess Alara of the Eastern Commonwealth. Second in line to the throne. A woman raised under the weight of centuries. The room forgot how to breathe. Calder and the lead officer stepped forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the officer announced, Her Highness requests to speak with Ms. Lena Hawthorne. Every head turned, the sister with no seat suddenly became the center of gravity that I walked forward, pulse steady. Princess Alara smiled when she saw me. Lena. Thank you for coordinating today. I hope I'm not disrupting your sister's celebration. You're right on time, Your Highness, I said. She nodded and projected her voice across the hall. I've come to thank Ms. Hawthorne personally. Her expertise in diplomatic security prevented a significant breach during last month's Commonwealth Summit. A ripple of shock rolled through the room, and it is my honor to present her with her formal appointment as the Commonwealth's Senior Protocol Attaché, one of the highest civilian diplomatic clearances awarded. She handed me a navy folder embossed with the royal crest. Gasps echoed. Serafina stared, mascara trembling. Marjorie went pale. Princess Alara squeezed my hand. My office will contact you this week. Your first assignment is urgent. Then she left, escorted by the royal guard, leaving stunned silence behind her, and suddenly, the same people who ignored me for years swarmed like bees to sugar. Lena. You never told us. You work with royalty? My husband is in politics, could he reach out? You must speak at our international gala. They clawed for proximity like my presence alone could expand their social value. Serafina pushed through them, voice breaking. Why didn't you tell us about any of this? You never asked, I said calmly. You decided what mattered. And it wasn't me. You ruined my event. No. You ruined it when you built it around everyone except your own sister. Mom appeared, face gray. Lena, we didn't know. You didn't want to know. Marjorie approached with a brittle smile. This was a misunderstanding. No, I said. You made your priorities clear. Single women without status shouldn't have formal seats. Your words. Her smile shattered that I walked out of that hall, past every table that wasn't allowed to hold my name. Past the gift pile I was assigned to guard like a decorative servant. Outside, my modest hatchback waited between luxury sedans. My royal appointment folder sat glowing on the passenger seat, like the truth they'd ignored for years had finally been carved into stone. Minutes later, an international number flashed. Ms. Hawthorne, this is Ambassador Ruiz. Princess Alara suggested you may assist with security logistics for the upcoming global summit. I'd be honored, I replied. That night, my phone filled with apologies. Serafina begging. Mom explaining. Marjorie offering to start fresh. I deleted every message. They spent years worshipping illusions, while I worked quietly in rooms where real decisions were made. They judged me by the absence of a ring. They forgot to ask what I had built without one. That they took away my seat at SO. I stood, and somehow rose so high above their world. They only saw me when a princess pointed. People think exclusion breaks you. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it sharpens you. Pushes you so far outside their circle that you build your own, bigger, louder. Unshakable. Sometimes the seat they refuse to give you is the seat you outgrow.